going in the right direction. So
okay.
I got a phone call.
All right. Mary, are you a coach or other?
I am a coach.
Cool. Welcome to the call.
Thank you. So during the call, do I just sit and listen? I've never been on one of your...
Yeah, I will be showing the screen, so it'll be a little bit hard for you, but if you have a good imagination, you can, well, I'll try to describe a little bit for you.
Well, my plan is to do this on the 16th, but just in case things go a little wonky and I miss it, I want to make sure I at least get some of the information.
Okay, well, I have a slideshow too that I will be sending out after the call. So,
okay.
So that will show you some of what the screens look like.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay.
And then I'll try to get on the 16th as well. It's just I never know what's happening with my schedule these days.
I understand.
So it's like if I have time today, I'm going to do this.
Cool. Well, you'll get a head start on many people.
Perfect. Okay, so can I mute my phone and still listen so that whatever I'm doing does not impact?
Yes.
Do you know?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, please mute, and then if you have a question, just chime in since you don't have a chat window.
All right. Thank you. I'm just going to mute it now, and I will just keep doing what I'm doing until the call starts.
Okay. Thanks, Mary.
All right. Thanks, Rick.
Okay. Well, welcome, everybody. It looks like we have 22 people on the call so far. We're still getting people chiming in, so please continue to sign in. It does look like we have a few people that are not coaches as their primary role, but most everybody on the call coach. But I just would like to get an idea, so if you could say if you've ever been a coach, go ahead and just write never in the chat window, but if you have been a coach, how many years? So I'll just read those off as they come in. Never. We got one never. Almost a year. 18 years. Wow, Joni, you should do the presentation instead of me. 4 years, Carrie. Over 4 years, Jennifer. 11 years, Renee. 1, Kristen. Caitlin. 1 year anniversary. Happy anniversary, Caitlin. 110 years for Clayton. Wow. Okay. Never, Robin. 10 years plus. 10. Okay. Well, I didn't know you were a coach. So, but not recently. Of course, you're working for OEC now. Cool. Okay, so we have a very, very broad spectrum from never to many, many years. So thank you all for coming to this ecConnect coaching preview. I'm very, very excited to show you the preview. So just sit back and I'll try to describe things. Actually, there's, for Mary who is just on the phone, there's a new icon that has looks like a little sprout coming out. So that's going to be the coaching icon. Okay. All right. So as an overview, coaching is moving out of Sugar and into ecConnect. And it's going to be much friendlier, easier, and more fun. I'm already excited because I got to see this before you guys did. It will be live very soon. We'll announce when it's ready, and you can use it as soon as it goes live. So the official date will be July 1st, and we'll turn off Sugar CRM at that time. So the way that you've been entering in coaching will go off of July 1st. And part of the reason for that is that it's very expensive for Sugar licenses. They cost about $600 a year. And if we can turn off and allow coaches to enter through ecConnect, we'll be saving all the councils and coaches that much money. And we need to because of our funding being cut for everybody. Okay, so what you'll see today is testing. It's not live yet. And one of the things, actually, Bill, do we know when it's going to be live?
Oh, we haven't set a date yet.
Okay. All right, so it's coming soon. So you'll be excited to see it, and I definitely will let you know. So if you'd be willing to actually test this as soon as it comes live, if you could put your email in the chat window, you could put tester and then your email, and that way I can let you guys know immediately, and then I'll do the let you test it for a couple days and then tell everybody. So I would appreciate anybody that is willing to be a tester. Just write tester and your email. Kelly, thanks very much. Tony, Melinda, oh, great. We're getting a bunch of them. So I'll send you an email as soon as Bill tells me it's a go. And Bill, by the way, is here. He's sitting right next to me. He's also, he's putting, I think he's glancing over at his shoulder. He's making improvements as we talk. And Dustin is also in the room. So they're the real brains behind this ecConnect and making it so much easier and friendlier to use. So if I can't answer a question, they're here to help me.
Hello. Hi.
That was Dustin and Bill. Say it louder.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm excited to start. And essentially what you do is you log into ecConnect, and if you don't have an account, there's the create an account tab that you can use that. But most of you already have an account, but there may be some coaches out there that other people have been creating the logs for them, and so you may need an ecConnect. So go ahead and create an account there, and then you click login. So I'm going to go to the screen. So here's ecConnect. Again, it won't work right now because I'm in the testing environment, but you put in your email and your password and log in. And there's a new magic button right here called coaching, and that's what we're going to click on. Yeah, no, I'm in the section. I'm going back and slideshow. Okay. Sorry, you weren't supposed to see that part. Okay, so here in the slideshow, it's showing the coaching, and then you click dashboard. I'll do that. Coaching dashboard. This wonderful time, and ta-da! This is so exciting to see the new design. So we're going to go through this, but I just am so excited to see this with the graphics here, so you can see how you're doing, and then the details. Are there any questions yet on how to get in? Oh, good. We got a comment. Wow, easy to read. Yes. That's one of the whole keys, is to make this easy to read and actually give you information that you might not have at a glance. Danielle is saying somebody needs to mute because we are hearing somebody in the background. Okay, so after going in coaching and dashboard, you can see the new dashboard, and the graphic at the beginning will essentially say how you're doing. In this particular graphic, it shows how many total coaching hours that you have and then where you are in the coaching. And you can see that just from this morning, I've already logged, it looks like 200 extra hours, so I'm doing great. Really, this is just a test, and so I'm showing different sites than I was when I captured the screen just a couple hours ago. So for this, for the sites that are showing, it's showing that I've already coached the hours that I was assigned. I'm trying to go back and forth to see if there are comments as I go. So somebody speak up if I miss an important comment. Okay, what's cool is at the top also you can have reminders. Like in this case it says reconcile task log, the reminder that you put in. Choose your sites is all these menu options here, and then it shows you a summary of whatever sites that you have selected.
So Rick, I'm going to clarify that a little bit.
Okay.
So you can see that there's several different options, and those are really more about filters. So you can select a specific site, and maybe Rick did that a little bit, but it basically shows you all the sites that you are a coach for, and you can look at your sites and drill in and see what they've been doing, and then you can also filter kind of a report style view of other important information like sites with an upcoming rating or sites without a QRS readiness assessment.
Thanks for clarifying, Bill. Yeah, each one of these buttons, what Bill is saying is it filters based on whatever the menu option is here.
Doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
So someone with more sites than Rick does.
Right. Yeah. I'm not a very experienced coach, so all of you, almost even those of you with no experience, still has as much experience. Danielle asked, will we use this for coaching too? Yes, I believe so. It has a place for that as well. Okay, so the dashboard will again have sort of a graphic goal. And then each of these buttons are a filter for either all your sites, those with an upcoming rating. I'll show you how to choose a specific site, sites without a QRS readiness assessment, sites with no coaching activity, and then recently rated sites. So right now, those are the filters that you can use. Okay, so when you want to choose, oh, Joni, she has a Yahoo. I love it. I like the exclamation point. So thank you for chiming in. Okay, so to choose a specific site, you'll click a specific site, and then you pick the account list. Okay, so I'm in here. Okay, here's the button says a specific site. Okay, and Sharon said, so the coaching details entered in ecConnect sync to Sugar. They will. It is actually, Sharon, if you picture this, this is like a window into Sugar. You don't have to see the whole all of Sugar. This is just showing you the important pieces the coach needs to see. Thanks, Sharon. Okay, so once you choose a specific site, you go to the down arrow and, whoops. I had a whole bunch of sites this morning, so you would choose from the list. Okay, I'll show you on the slide. So you'd pick from the list, and here's all the different sites that I had this morning, and you can choose from there. And then once you get to a site, here's what the screen will look like. It has, in this case, Amy Stockton is the name of the provider, and it has type of care. It's a home care provider. The license number, Colorado Shines. There is no expiration date at the moment for ratings, and then the QRS readiness assessment date, and then their shipping address. So all that information is in view for you right at the top of the screen when you select a site. Okay. And then across in a little table below the information for the site, what you'll see are a number of columns, and the columns give information about the requisition and coaching logs within that requisition. So you can see the name of the requisition. In this case, it's a stock and for Race to the Top. There are 5 hours that were assigned and 4.25 hours remaining. Okay, and then over on the, it shows you each of the coaching logs and the status for each of those and how many hours you have. Any questions on this screen? Okay, so the next screen underneath on the menu after you choose a site, so the site information will be down here. After you choose a site, you'll have these 4 buttons. Some of you will have 4 buttons, some will have 3. So schedule coaching, visit QIP dashboard, and then return to coaching homepage. And here's where it's a little different. If you have a Sugar license, you'll see this button, View in Sugar CRM. And if you don't have the button, if you don't have a Sugar license, you won't see the button. So essentially, for those of you that do use Sugar, if you click the button when you're on the site, you go directly to that site. Okay, and if you choose the Schedule Coaching button, that allows you to schedule coaching, and it leads you through very easily each of the fields that you need to fill out. And I'll show in more detail in a minute. Okay, you can also click this Visit QIP Dashboard, and it will allow you to go into quality improvement planning to see QIP goals. Okay, and then you can also return, this last button is return to the coaching homepage. Okay, so is everybody doing okay right now? Just say if I'm talking the right speed, or I need to slow down, or just if you give me a little bit of feedback, that will be helpful. Jennifer, thank you. Thank you, Kelly. Again, I can't see your faces and seeing if I'm being understandable or not, so I really appreciate the feedback. Thanks, Danielle. Cool, I got all doing good so far. So and if I'm talking and you don't understand what I'm doing, please, you might need to chime in with your voice, because I can't, it's a little hard for me to watch the chat window at the same time. Okay, so how do you schedule coaching? So essentially, you're going to go to the site that you want, like we just did. You'll click the button, a specific site, and then you pick from the account list, and then you'll click that Schedule Coaching button. And you'll get a form that comes in, and what the form has is all of these fields that are shown here. I'm going to show you each of the fields, because it's really, really easy. Let's see if I can't create one from here. Okay, so I'll go back to the slide. Okay, so each of the fields, this actually is just the beginning of your screen, and the fields go all the way across, and then there's a down arrow for each one. So the first field is you're just selecting which requisition you're on. So you put, in this case, there's only one requisition, so it's the name of the provider, the Race to the Top, and then internal coaching. Actually shows you how much time you have left too, which is cool. Okay, and then you put in your QIP category. Again, you just click the down arrow and select one of these. And then you choose the coaching time type. So in this case, it's going to be in person, but I do if I was just calling them. On the coaching type, you select, and here was Danielle's question for ecWIT. So that's right here. And then on the assessment, if you have an assessment, you can put one in, and just like in sugar, it expands depending on your assessment to put more data in. But in this case, I did not applicable. Okay, and then if you need an observation type, you put one in, otherwise you put the blank in. And then this will probably change the date. This is one of the things that Dustin and Bill are working on, to put in a date so it's easy to use. Okay, and then when you're done, if you are going to be editing it later, you say save and exit. If you're completely done, you do save and reconcile. Okay, so Donna asked a question. Is there where you put the pre-assessment scores? Yes, there will be new fields that pop up on the form. And can you change mine so I can create an actual one, so because I didn't do the assessments? Or do you want to log on as you?
So can you go back to the coaching program?
I mean, they'll be the same set of fields, but you're used to seeing in sugar below the assessment. When you
So essentially what Dustin is saying is that there will be the same fields that you're used to. For those of you that have been in sugar, it's the same fields that were in sugar the same. Does that answer your question, Donna? No. Okay. So Donna, can you sort of give me a little bit more detail of what you're asking? Okay, while I'm waiting for that.
I have a question about that, Rick.
Okay.
In the
Go
past, the pre-rating assessment information has been within the coaching log, at least that's how I describe it, versus being a separate, and I don't know what you call the different things, but so for instance, for me to in the past to look at that assessment, I had to figure out which coaching log contained that information instead of just being able to go to that account and see it. So I'm just wondering, are those being separated out so that they're easier to see and or perhaps do reports on or whatever? And I know we're talking about, you're probably talking about ecConnect. I'm sorry I'm on late, but.
So this is Sharon. Maybe I can chime in if that's okay with you, Rick.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, great. So part of what we're working on under the ecConnect grant right now is some work with Research Evaluation Consulting Group, which is helping us to evaluate kind of the efficiency and whether or not we're collecting the right fields and the right number of fields. So there are certain areas of sugar and ecConnect where we might see a reduction in the number of fields that we're collecting because we're not really using that information after we collect them. And there are some other things that we'll be working on to make sure that information is readily available from an analysis and evaluation standpoint. And so one area that she'll be spending some special attention on is really around the QRIS readiness assessment. In particular, we know that it takes a long time to complete those. We also saw it in the RFA as a requirement on the Colorado Shines Quality Improvement Grant. So we will be working with Research Evaluation Consulting over the summer to do a review of that assessment itself from an evaluation standpoint and see, try to test the validity of its predictive power to understand, you know, if people are using it consistently and that kind of thing, and if additional training is needed. So I know that's bigger picture than what your specific question was, but as to your specific question, in ecConnect, the QRIS readiness assessment will feel like a special coaching log, so it won't have the clutter of the other coaching log information. It will be very specific to the QRS readiness assessment. And for managers and grant leads and people who are kind of monitoring the completion of the QRS readiness assessment, it will be sort of the push of a button kind of report that you'll be able to see all your sites who have received the readiness assessment for that program year and all your sites who haven't. And that will be by funding stream. So we're trying to make it much simpler to get access to the information that's really meaningful to you. In the guts of it, in Sugar, it will still be in the coaching log because that is sort of structurally where it makes sense. But from a user standpoint in ecConnect, you'll have much more ready access to that information.
Okay. And so I guess I could be driving this conversation differently, so please put it on a parking lot if that's the case. Are we not ever going to consider to allow programs to do self-assessment around that as what we're collecting?
I don't believe that's been discussed before, but I think, you know, that's certainly something that we could discuss with research evaluation.
I think we're going to spend too much time assessing programs and not actually helping them if we don't move that way.
You know what, Rick and I will make sure that you are on the list of people to talk to from Research Evaluation Consulting so that you can describe what you think would be the ideal process. And if anyone else has additional thoughts or comments on that, then you can chat into the window right now and we'll be sure that their team will contact you. Because it's still, at this moment, it's really kind of analyzing what we've done so far with the QRS readiness assessment, and then they'll be putting together their own written recommendations from a research and evaluation standpoint, which could, and we did ask them to really emphasize saving time because resources are going to be more scarce next year, and so we want to be sure to really leverage resources to the best extent possible, so that's definitely in their mindset.
Thanks, Sharon and Lisa. And Kelly added her name to be part of that conversation as well.
Great.
Cool. So I got into one of the forms that it shows you right here, and I just wanted to show you what the form itself looks like instead of just the screens on my PowerPoint. So here's the ecConnect. And the assessment, if you put an assessment in, let's do. Okay, so I haven't tested these two with the assessments. Do the fields open up more if you put in assessments?
They should, but really it's not working right now with you at the moment because I don't see any on your...
Okay, so this is part of the, because we're testing, I actually got this last night late and was early this morning testing, and I didn't get to this piece. So yes, there should be additional fields that come in, but remember that we're in a testing environment.
You can flip to the Sugar view of the coaching record to show the fields for people that haven't gone into.
Okay, so so if I change this to QRI Readiness Assessment Guide, then all these fields show up, and then you put in the values here. Okay, when you're done with your coaching, scheduling your coaching, you click Save and Exit, and then you'll see the coaching on the screen, the results, and those that have an I on them are complete, but those that have a pencil on them allow you to edit them. So you can click on the edit, and then actually you have more fields that you can put in. You can add the scope, the coaching subtypes, QOP goal, and coach next steps. And also the QIP goal provider next steps, description, and notes, and the classrooms that you're doing. With the provider next steps, you just remember that the recommendations actually go on the provider's QIB dashboard. So that's actually really cool, but just make sure that you're friendly when you state comments. Christine asks, is it possible to have the end date autofill? Do you mean like with today's date? So both the end date and the beginning date and the end date are the same date? Is that what you mean, Christine? Yes. So is it going to default when you put the...
So right now, the way it's set up, you can only select the same day. So it's not really possible to select multi-day coaching events. But we're hoping to find another option that will make it so you only have to select one date, and then you just select the beginning time and the end time to make it a little bit simpler.
So did you hear that? So instead of the screen that we showed, it's probably just going to have one date that you put in and then the beginning and ending time. Okay. Any questions so far? Yeah, one day would be great. Thanks, Christine. Okay, so I'll save and exit. If you click the save and exit and you don't have filled in, see it gives this neat little exclamation point. Please select an item from the list, and it's showing you exactly where you need to do it. So I'll select.
It would have normally auto-picked your account, but for some reason that didn't populate for you.
Okay. So in this case, I'm going to discard and exit because, again, we're still in development stage. Okay, and here's one that you can see with a little bit more with the coaching for all of my sites now. Okay. Do you guys have other things that you want to demonstrate or show?
I mean, one thing that's worth noting is that we will have the ability to review reconciled records. And I'm not sure if Rick showed, but basically you'll be able to view them but not make any changes to them. So once it's reconciled, it's completely locked down. You won't be able to make any changes, but for historical purposes, you can look back and see what you did with this site at this time.
Sharon, do you have anything to add? Oh, we got a question here. Is schedule coaching where you would document your visit and what happened once the visit is complete?
Yeah, so they'll look very similar, but what scheduling really means is like I'm planning on going to the site to perform a coaching visit, and this is the very basic information we need to track, what I expect to do there. Then after you've actually, visited the site and performed the coaching, then you'll come back to the site and you'll update that with the additional information about what actually did during the visit, including any time, any assessment information, and anything like that.
So it's the simple go in after it's scheduled. So that's what, again, you won't be able to edit those that are complete and reconciled. Okay? And after you've scheduled it, you want to come back in and do the work, Chrissy.
Yeah, so I would just add that we know that a lot of councils have either contracted coaches or they have coach staff who don't sometimes directly enter into Sugar right now. And so they have like a navigator or someone who's entering on their behalf. So you can kind of skip the scheduled status in that case and kind of enter them more directly. But we're still maintaining that best practice would be that coaches actually record their coaching logs in more real time. That's from just a data standpoint. It's always better to have data in real time. So as you're going through and scheduling coaching with your sites, go ahead and enter them into ecConnect. They'll show up as scheduled. They'll be ready for you when you are on site or right after your site visit, so that you can update them and complete and reconcile them. What we're looking at as part of the ecConnect sort of 2.0 that we'll be launching in September is that you can send automatic invites to your own calendar and to the provider on any scheduled coaching. So that's something that we're really excited about offering, that we got a lot of good feedback as part of our stakeholder interviews. And so again, it just kind of helps that behavioral standpoint of making sure that you're reflecting the data in real time. And that way at the end of the month or at the end of the pay period, you're not rushing to get all your information into ecConnect Sugar. You've kind of got it already in there and you're just double checking. Any questions on that?
Yeah, we have a number of questions that have come up since I asked, are there any questions? So Nicole is saying, will coaches be able to see anything like an overview of past coaching for a single program, such as their own suggestion and possibly other coaches' visits? So on the button that says a specific site, when you choose a site, it shows it just for that site. So in this case, on the slide that I have, Amy Stockman, this is showing all of her coaching, all of the coaching that's done for that site. And Donna is asking for, can we print this PowerPoint for later reference? I will send out the PowerPoint on the Sugar user group. Actually, what we usually do is on the, each meeting has its own article which we send out, and I'll attach that, the one for today with the PowerPoint as well as the recording. So yes, Donna, if for some reason you don't get this, can you send me an email at support@eclacolorado.org. That way we can make sure that we get it to you. Or actually you could put it in the chat window right now. You could say that please make sure I get a copy of this PowerPoint. Because if you didn't get the normal Sugar user group announcement, because you're a coach, you may not be on that list. That's why I'm saying that. If somebody just told you to come on the call, I'll send it out to the user group, and they possibly will forward it. So, and Christine asked, will it be possible to enter a log without having to schedule first? I know it is best to schedule first, but that doesn't.
Yeah. So basically, the flow for doing that is almost identical. The only difference is that there is a delay between first and second step. So I think in one of the slides Rick showed that when you're scheduling a coaching event, you really have you have 3 buttons. Cancel, and then save and exit, which means that this is scheduled, but obviously I can't enter the rest of my information in yet because it hasn't happened. And the already happened, and I don't need to wait for anything, so just take me to the final step, enter in the remaining information, and then mark I'll be done.
I want to add all that extra information.
So save and reconcile will bring up the full set of.
Okay, and then Sharonad, yes, you can enter previously completed coaching directly. Donna, I'm glad you get my emails. So, but if there's anybody that normally doesn't get the emails, please put your email in the chat that says you want the PowerPoint. Okay, any other questions? So Bill and Dustin are working, and I can even see them working right next to me to continue to get this up. You think we'll have more by next Friday, or you have it scheduled for next Friday? Okay, so it may be just a repeat of this webinar, or it may have new and additional screens for you. If there's no more questions, thank you all for coming. If you could add any questions at the end that you want us to look at for coaching, I appreciate it. Thank you, Jennifer, Kristen, Tony. Thank you, Katie. Joni, I'm glad you appreciated it. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate the feedback. Hey, Michelle, thumbs up. I agree that it will make logging much easier.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you.
Okay, this is Janina Brown, and so I'm doing this audio because I couldn't get to my office, but I listened to everything, and it's wonderful.
Okay. Can you give me your email?
It is G, as in girl, G
Okay.
Brown at allianceforkids.org.
Okay, I can look that up. Thanks, Janine.
Thank you.
If there's anybody else just on audio and needs the PowerPoint, just let me know, and I'll type your name in the chat so I remember.
Okay, so you got mine?
Do,
G Brown
Janine.
at Alliance for Kids. Okay,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.